What's up, fuckos? It's your boy, the Filthy Mouth Gamer, and we're doing another Deep Thoughts. Not Knuckle Deep Thoughts. It's Deep Thoughts now, because motherfuckers apparently were thinking that I was talking about fingering chicks' pussies, and we're clicking on the fucking video. So now, it's simply Deep Thoughts. Today, I'm playing Nex Machina, and our subject today is going to be guns. Because obviously we just came out of another mass shooting, like, the Las Vegas shooting, I'm talking about, obviously. And once again, people are fucking talking about, should we have guns? Shouldn't we have guns? Are we allowed to have fucking missile launches? Should we have only pea shooters? And, I fall somewhere in the middle of that shit, like a normal human being. I think the NRA is fucked up. They want us to have every fucking thing under the sun because they're looking to make money, because they're cunts. But, I'll tell you how I feel. I feel that the United States is a gun culture, and that's not gonna fucking change. No law is gonna change that. You're not gonna fucking overnight have nobody with guns because some fucking congressperson decides so. This isn't fucking Australia. Okay, I know in Australia they made a law, and that law says you can't have guns, and ever since then there's no gun deaths. This isn't fucking Australia. They didn't have a fucking culture of guns. There's 500 million fucking guns in this country. You're not getting rid of them. Even if by some fucking miracle guns were taken off the streets, they're not gonna really be taken off the streets, because the criminals are still gonna have the fucking guns. Cops are still gonna have guns, and fucking bodyguards are gonna have guns for the politicians, but regular citizens, they won't have the guns. And I think the citizens deserve to be able to protect themselves with these fucking guns. I think the right of the citizens to have guns in the United States is pretty clearly well written in the Second Amendment in the Constitution. Now, there's some people that like to debate that, what the intentions of the founders were, or, does it mean that people should have it or militia has it? Here, I'm gonna read it for you, and then I'll fucking break it down. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, people like to say, well, they're talking about a militia, but if they were talking about a fucking militia, they would say the right of the militia to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. No, but instead, they say the right of the people to keep and bear arms. And why separate the two? Why have the people and militia? It's because the fucking founders just fought 2 years against a state tyrannical fucking militia. And they knew that down the road, they may have to take up arms again against a state tyrannical militia. I mean, obviously, you need a militia, a military, you need a military force, and the people also need to protect themselves if the military force and the government decide to turn on them. And it's pretty fucking obvious in the Second Amendment. And I know a lot of people say, well, how the fuck you gonna fight the military? They have fucking planes and tanks and shit, and that's obviously true. But let's be honest here. Even with our military, let's just say 150 million people rose up with shotguns and pistols, and they just marched on Washington. Even with our fucking military, do you think that's... I know, people are gonna say, well, there's a problem with fucking guns. I mean, there's 35,000 gun deaths a year? And there are 35,000 gun deaths a year. But when you hear that number, you also hear that more than half of that number is suicides, and you can add more to that, people that accidentally shoot themselves, whether it be a child that gets hold of a gun or a fucking idiot that doesn't know how to handle a gun. That also plays into it. So actually, when you get it down, actual homicides with guns are around 8,000 or so a year, and yeah, it still is a decent sized number, especially compared to countries that have guns and don't have nearly the fucking murder rate we have. And so there's obviously something different, right? I mean, if some countries have guns and nobody really gets murdered, why the fuck are people getting murdered over here? Well, a lot of people like to bring up mental health, and that's absolutely fucking true. But, I mean, mental health effects have to be in other countries as well. I think the difference in this country is that we get fucking pills thrown out down our throat for depression, for pain, for shit like that. And I just saw a study recently that was saying that antidepressant drugs increase the risk of committing homicide by 31%. Tranquilizers increase the risk of committing homicide by 45%. Opioid pain relievers increase the risk of committing suicide by 92%. And here's the best one. Anti-inflammatory painkillers increase the risk of committing homicide by 200 fucking %. Now you're probably asking yourself, well, why the fuck haven't I heard about it? Well, let me tell you, if you're looking in the newspaper and you're looking in the fucking TV for you to hear the report, you're not gonna get it. You know why that is? Is because the media makes tons of money by pharmaceutical companies advertising on their networks and in their fucking newspapers. Okay? Them advertising in their networks and newspapers means that they don't get asked the hard questions. And one of the hard questions would be, are your fucking products making people kill other people? And the answer, according to this study, is fucking yes. So I think if we change this culture of over-medicating Americans, then I think you would see an improvement in those numbers. Now, that's not to say that I'm totally for carrying any fucking gun you want. I don't think a regular person should be able to carry a fucking machine gun, a fully automatic gun. And some people don't understand the difference between fully automatic, semi-automatic. Let me explain real quick. Semi-automatic means that every time you pull the trigger, one bullet gets shot. Fully automatic means you hold the fucking trigger down and guns just come flying. Automatically. Hence, fully automatic. Now, when you shoot a fully automatic weapon, it doesn't shoot straight like in Call of Duty. It fucking sprays everywhere. First of all, if you don't control the fucking recoil on it, then it's going to really spray up and down and God knows where. So I don't think civilians deserve to have those. I'm sorry. But here's the thing. I think there also should be regulation on the way people handle guns. Now, as of right now, in certain states, I can just walk into a fucking store or a gun shop or a fucking gun show, buy a gun, and just go home with it. Now, I think guns should be treated like cars, where you can't just buy a car and drive away without getting a fucking license. You know, to drive a car, you have to take a test. You have to figure out controlling the car and all this other shit. And guns should be no different. I think to own a gun in the United States, you should have to learn how to not only shoot the fucking thing, you should learn how to take it apart, put it back together. I think you should learn how to clean a gun, because there's a lot of gun deaths that happen by the fucking gun blowing up in someone's hand because you didn't clean the fucking thing. You should also learn how to store it safely. Kids should not get their hands on a fucking loaded gun. I think that's a big problem in this country, is fucking stupidity and people just willy-nilly letting their kids kill themselves with their fucking own gun. Now, I grew up with a grandfather that owned a gun shop. I was around guns my whole life. And not once did I get my fucking hands on a gun when I shouldn't have, without the supervision of an adult who was a professional in the field. There needs to be education in this fucking area. The NRA is ridiculous. They don't think there should be any fucking regulation. There needs to be some fucking regulation. I'm sorry. But also keep in mind that no matter how insane the regulation, criminals are always going to get guns. Even if they did it the way I said, where you go through like a licensing process and classes, there's still going to be motherfuckers with guns that didn't go through the process. Like how many people are out there today driving a car without a fucking license? I mean, there's an element of that. People need to understand that. If you take guns away from regular people, the shitty people are going to still have the fucking guns. And when the regular people want to protect themselves from the shitty people, they're not going to be able to. It's that fucking simple. If you were a criminal, what kind of society would you like to rather be in? Would you rather be in a society that you never know if a person that you want to rob or steal from has a gun? Or a society where you know for damn sure that if you fucking rob somebody, they're not going to have a gun because it's against the law? It's pretty fucking obvious what kind of society you want to be in. So, you know what? This whole idea of if you fucking regulate guns or whatever, it's going to go away. Listen, there's gang violence in Chicago. Everybody points to it. I mean, it's like the fucking poster child for fucking gun violence. You want that gang violence to go away? Not totally, but for the most part, end the war on drugs. You end the war on drugs, you cut off the fucking funding for these gangs, which is drug money, and you won't have to worry about it. But that's a whole different fucking subject. Listen, just know that there's not a law that they could ever come up with that's going to keep you and your family totally fucking safe from shootings like this mass shooting that went down in Vegas. It's just not going to happen. All you could do is get yourself a gun and learn how to handle the gun. Or you don't have to get a gun. Like, if you don't like guns, don't fucking buy one. It's that fucking simple. But in my opinion, you should always be ready to protect yourself. Especially in a country that has a gun culture like we do. Remember, you have a right to bear arms because really at the end of the day, the founders wanted you to protect you from getting stomped on by a scumbag government. And they haven't noticed, we might be getting stomped on right now. So do yourselves a favor. Get yourselves a gun. Learn about the gun. Learn all the things to know about the gun. Practice shooting the fucking thing. And hopefully you never have to use the fucking thing. But if you come in a situation, hopefully you have a gun and you know how to use it to protect yourself. Listen, that's all the fucking time I have. So, I got other shit to do. So, good night. And go fuck yourselves. Don't forget to click like and subscribe, motherfuckers!